Welcome back. In this lesson, we will continue on growing our where clause prowess and learn how to string multiple conditions together in a SQL query. After today's lesson, you will know how to use more than one condition in the where section and the difference between using and or to string conditions together. Remember we created an invite list of subjects over 18 in the last lesson for the single and ready to mingle party Cinderella wanted to throw? So Charlie the calligrapher took this list and made beautiful invitations and mailed out the invitations to everyone on the list. Cinderella was super excited for this party and was thoroughly enjoying party planning until dun dun dun. Cinderella noticed two things in the days leading up to the party that troubled her. One, she was missing lots of RSVPs. And two, which was even more troubling, was she was getting a lot of angry letters addressed to Cinderella/homewrecker. Most of the letters consisted of sentiments similar to this. My husband and I were happily married until you began sabotaging our marriage with sleazy invites to your single and ready to mingle party. So if you recall, we wrote a query for Charlie the calligrapher that brought back subject's first name, last name, and address from the subjects table. We had only one condition in our where clause that identified subjects that would be 18 and over on the day of the party. We used the DOB column or date of birth column to find subjects 18 or over on the party date. Cinderella quickly realized our query result set did not identify if the subjects were active or not. To do this, what column would we need to add a condition around? That's right, we'd have to add a condition around active subject equaling yes, or active subject not equaling no. Cinderella also realized she didn't request the marital status of the subjects, and she invited a slew of married couples. So we would also need to put a condition around marital status equals single in our where section. Rather than stew over the current query's flaws, Cinderella wanted to have a query ready for the next time she threw a similarly themed party, so she didn't get all of those angry letters from the married couples. We know how to bring back subjects that are 18 and over on the party date. Select first name, last name, active subject, marital status, DOB, address from subjects where DOB is less than or equal to 1/1/2000. The result set may look like this. Notice all of the date of births are on or before 1/1/2000. We also know how to bring back active subjects. We did this a few lessons ago. Select first name, last name, active subject, marital status, DOB, address from subjects where active subject equals yes. The result set may look like this. Notice all of the rows under the active subject column equal yes. Even though we haven't done this yet, if we wanted to get only single subjects, we could add a condition in our where section that said marital status equals single. So select first name, last name, active subject, marital status, DOB, address from subjects where marital status equals single. The result set may look like this. Notice all of the subjects on this list are single. We could print out the three result sets and hand them over to Charlie the calligrapher and tell him if the subject is in all three lists, they get an invite because that means they met all of the conditions. They are an active subject, and they are single, and they are 18 or over. So how do you think Charlie the calligrapher would feel about looking at three long lists of names and having to determine which subjects were on all three lists? Needless to say, he was not happy. Writing is his forte, not analyzing. This was a lot of extra work and he would not be pleased. So wouldn't it be great if we could only give him one list of names? Luckily we can, and here's how we are going to do it. With something called multiple conditions. We could write a report that identifies each of the conditions and puts them together in one single query. If we want more than one condition, we can string them together by the word and or the word or. If we want each condition to be true, we will use the word and. In this case, we want subjects that are single and active and over the age of 18 or 18 on the party date. So we want each of the conditions to be true. So we'll use and between each one. So our query would look like this. Select first name, last name, active subject, marital status, DOB, address from subjects where active subject equals yes and DOB is less than or equal to 1/1/2000 and marital status equals single. Now our result set is a list of subjects that meet all three conditions. Charlie is a much happier camper. There are going to be cases when we don't need both conditions to be true. We only want any of the conditions to be true. In situations like this, we will use an or. So if Cinderella saw her guest list wasn't as large for her single and ready to mingle party, and she wanted to invite all singles and anyone who was divorced, she could do this by adding two conditions and separating them by an or. So we would still want active subjects that are 18 or over, but this time we want subjects that are single or divorced. So marital status equals single or marital status equals divorced. Now if we add this into our query, we'd have to be a little careful and separate our conditions with or with parentheses to be crystal clear with the database. We want the database to know we only want the subjects that are active, over 18, and either divorced or single. Without the parentheses, the database could read our request as we want subjects that are active, over 18, and single, or divorced subjects that we either active or inactive and over 18 or under 18. So adding parentheses in just kind of separates our conditions from each other. So this is what our result set could look like. And notice this time we have divorced subjects over 18 that are active subjects and single subjects over 18 that are active subjects. And if we gave Charlie the calligrapher this report, he would be ready to go as well. Now we have seen how helpful it can be to be able to use more than one condition in the where section. So now it's time for the next activity and then on to the next lesson where we learn about even more operators.